Which else? With okay. Actually, we are presenting a topic on factory farming. We are proposing that factory farming should be abolished, and instead, organic farming should be adopted. One of the scholars once said that the farm animals feel pleasure and sadness, excitement and resentment. You can read. Okay, basing on the factors and facts and researches, it has been shown that factory farming is one of the methods that have brought more harm to humanity. But before going that, what is a factory farming? Factory farming, and if I can divide for us.
Factory farming is an industrial method whereby thousands of animals are cramped up in small spaces in order to maximize the space and to maximize the production. As you can see, the chickens are put in a really tiny space so that maximization is imminent. So, as you can see, the ducks are in cages. They have no space to spread their wings. They can't move. So, they are denied all this freedom. And whenever an illness is incurred in one of these settings, it's really easy for the disease to spread to all of them. As you can see, because clearly if you're all put in a single setting like this, as you can see, it's really easy for the spread of diseases and other things like that. So these animals are really pumped up with fatteners, soy, corn, in order to make them reach market weight at a really fast rate, because the market is waiting for the meat. So factory farming has a lot of disadvantages, as we can always tell.
Okay. On the issue of disadvantages of factory farming, you find that the way the animals are being handled, they are not handled in a humane manner. You can see the debeaking that is done on a chicken. If the chicken are not debeaked properly, you realize that you'll get some of the photos that you can see ahead. They are actually not pleasing. Then there was a research that was done in 2011, not even a research, but it was a fact. In 2011, there was a spillage from the factory where the slaughterhouse has been located for pigs in Illinois. The spillage from the slaughterhouse entered into a creek, and eventually it killed 11,000 fish. And that was a big loss to Illinois. So, for us, the way these animals are handled, you can see the mix. They are poorly handled. At the same time, the factory farming does not encourage health. What it encourages is mass production and low quality. And in the end,
you stop there, you come back to that point. Now check the first part.
Good afternoon. On the opposing side, it's
Just come so that we can see it.
It's presented by me, Sanjoli, from Monday. So, as you have said, factory farming is where the animals are raised in a confinement place. And the method is efficient because since the animals are raised in a confinement place, the owner or the person the person managing the farm is able to take care of the animals, and the fact that less amount of space is utilized, and the lesser the space we have, the more the production of the meat and the animals, the byproducts of the animals that have the eggs. Also, it saves on capital because more animals are kept in the same place, and the capital of feeding them and the amount of food and the capital needed for them is less.
I'm commander and opposing the other side. And okay. One of the point is space. Factory farming utilizes a small space to produce a huge amount of products, animal products, and like meat, eggs, and milk. So if you're talking about factory farming, you're talking about having these products in large quantities, of which the organic farming cannot supplement or they cannot give to the community. Like right now, we're talking about the Kenyan population being malnutrition to the extent that we are fortifying our floods and whatever. So we're talking about factory farming coming in to make sure that we have enough of these nutrients like protein and calcium in the form of milk and eggs and meat to supplement the nutrients that we're giving our kids and ourselves so that we can have a healthy working community and environment. So we're talking about a confinement, a small space, so we're talking about the animals not walking so much. That means that the animals are not wasting their energy walking other than growing. So the animals will grow faster, and they're also injected with hormones that make them grow very fast. So it comes to a question of whether you're talking about human rights or animal rights, or you're talking about supplementing the nutrients for the population for them to be healthy. So what are you going to support? The animal rights or the human necessities like nutrients and protein?
Okay, another advantage of factory farming is the fact that it does not require a lot of human labor because it uses a lot of modern technology for processing and also feeding. So, since the amount of time that is needed and labor is mostly done using technology, the time that human beings or the man that needs to be there can be utilized in other jobs or works.
Let's go back to the summarize now.
On the issue of factory farming being on the space, I just want to oppose them by saying that factory farming has more harm. If you, according to the CDC report, CDC report is Center for Disease Control, that factory farming, most of the diet in Americans is saturated fat because of the animals that have been reared under factory farming. Then the obesity that is being experienced by most of the Americans and most of the population in the world are caused by these animals. You look, there's orthotic diseases like the H1N1. The experts have shown that these diseases are spread due to the crowding of the pigs and the animals. So for us, we say it is time to say no to factory farming, and we adopt organic farming, which is if Claire can tell us.
So organic farming does not involve the use of chemicals, as much chemicals as we use in factory farming. So that means the products that you get at the end of the day have less harmful substances. You may not think about it right now, but when you consume those things much later in life, the harm will come to you. And you will remember a certain person was telling you that this is not right for you. So organic farming, as you can read, uses a lot of chemicals to produce quality. It reduces the risk to human life and also the environment. So this involves crop rotation, intercropping. We did all this, you know what it entails, and you were told it was good. Intercropping, symbiotic association of plants and insects and everything. The environment is just at par with this system. Because factory farming, let's start with the fact that she said it saves on workmanship. Most of the people who work at factory farms, according to a survey, were illegal workers. They were not there, legally. And then those workers are paid by, for example, in sheep. When the wool is too much, then they get leather in their skin. So these people are paid by the sheep to shear them, and they do not do it in a humane way. So this means that these are not people who are licensed by either the CDC or any other authorities to carry out these activities. So it encourages illegal workmanship. Saving on capital does not mean that it should cost someone their life, because you're eating food that is farmed with a lot of chemicals, saturated fats, as he said. At the end of the day, you're doing no harm than good to yourself. And also, to supplement on animal protein, you can have rabbit meat that is not raised on factory farms. You can also have the insects, as our colleagues said. Because if you really want the proteins, you can get them from another source. Don't put your life at risk. Yes.
And there is also energy recycling. As you grow crops, you retain the energy. Using the energy cycle, you can know what happens. So for us, we say organic farming is the only solution that can save this planet. Otherwise, we'll become extinct.
Okay. All right. Summarize your piece now.
Coming to Ekelo's point of H1N1, H1N1 was not selective, but it was keeping from the organic animals or the organic livestock. Then it goes to the factory farming ones, and then it was not that selective. It affected every animal. And talking about the effluent that is released from these farms, we are talking about ponds that are treating this waste like the sewage, like human produced waste that is treated in the sewage. So we're talking about the same thing with the animals and the livestock that are being reared in this kind of setting. We're talking about us being one of the biggest beneficiaries of this system, because if you talk about the broiler chicken, we are the biggest consumers. I think a day doesn't pass when like a quarter of this population doesn't eat this eggs. We're talking about eggs. Eggs have been reared by the battery cage system, which is a model that works on this factory farming setting. We're talking about this thing bringing in so much, as in terms of nutrients, in proteins and calcium, and reducing the cost. Because if you have organic farming without factory farming supplementing it, we'll have less of it in the market. If organic farming is the only one that is producing the nutrients to the market. So factory farming has enabled the cost of eggs, milk to go down a bit because of the mass production. So we're not talking about people not being able to afford these products. So I think we're even, as in it's a give and take situation.
So generally,
Okay, also on factory farming, it has less or limited geographical boundaries. This is because, as you know, some animals, you can't rear some animals in certain places of the world, or even planting of some animals. You can't just plant rice in another place. Okay, factory farming has brought about greenhouses where you can be able to grow any crop, and also due to the controlled environment and temperatures of factory farming, you can be able to control the temperatures of an animal and maximize the production.
Okay, let's start.